Today on Independent Wrestling Profiles, we're talking with the Croatian Sensation Boris CroBos. When did you first discover professional wrestling, watch professional wrestling, get interested in any capacity?
Well, I was 5 years old. I was watching TV with my little brother, with my big brother. Actually, he's almost 30 now. It's crazy. We were watching TV, and my brother just switched the channel, and he was like, "Oh, wrestling." I'm like, I looked to him. I'm like, "What is this?" Because at 5 years old, I was only watching Franklin, IU, and that's it. So that's all it. That's it. And the first match I ever watched, and I still have in memory, it's John Cena versus Davari, a blindfold match. That match, I was like, "What is this match?" But it's so funny because Cena's like missing the shots, and I'm like, "Why is the guy blindfolded?" And then he's using the crowd. It's like, "Where is this person?" I'm like, "That's actually pretty smart." Since then, I was like, I kept watching my brother with wrestling over and over and over, and I kept got a feeling on wrestling. I'm like, "Wow, this is so cool." My favorite wrestler of all time will be John Cena because that first match was just like inspiring, and how he does the moves. I know he only does 5 moves, and it's just very special. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like John Cena would be my favorite wrestler. And since then, kept watching it, got more passionate about it, watched more wrestling, and then once I hit 17 years old, I wanted to start training, but like my dad told me to finish college. I'm like, all right. So I finished college around 20 years old. When the COVID hit, I was like, okay, let me actually do wrestling. Let me try training. So I searched up training schools, saw Andy Corelli, Santa Maria had a school in Mississauga. I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I hit up Ballards. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I'm like, what is this place? I was very stunned. And then my first coaches were Nick Andrews, Asylum, and Rob Simpson, Silk. I was like very imitated. I'm like, they're all so like huge and like jacked. I'm like, damn. I'm like very scared to do this. And then I did my first week. I'm like, it was very like weird, but it was a good feeling some way. So I kept going back and back. I had some people help me with my training. I had D. Smith help me with the ropes, Jackson Roy, shout out to Jackson Roy. And yeah, and I met a lot of people who train with in the Indies now. Roger Husher, Abu, Ahmed, Matty Z, like so many people. And since then, I just kept doing my thing. And how I got to nerd is basically we're doing a validation to see how we're doing. And my coach, because I didn't have a character at the time, so I was just like I was playing Croatian music. I had the CroBos, but I didn't know what was the character of CroBos. I had like the gears, Croatian Bosnian. And he just told me you should be a nerd, not just because of disrespect, but I feel like as a character right now, I feel like you would fit it, just how the pop. So I tried it out in a house show. It worked. So I was like, okay, let's get more ideas. And it just clicked. And that's how I got the suspenders. That's why someone told me to use White and Nerdy as the song. And the moves just kept more like my character would definitely do this because it's very silly, but he's also a nerd, so he would probably do it. So that's basically that. That's how I got the wrestling, basically.
All right, so let's fill in some more of those details. You jumped from being a fan at a young age to 17.
Yeah.
During that period of time in between, did it always kind of reside in the back of your mind that you wanted to do it, or was
Yeah.
there something that later on kind of changed your mind?
I since I watched that John Cena match, I wanted to be a wrestler. Since then, it was either be a wrestler or a soccer player. Because I was a huge soccer fan back in the day, and I played house league too. I could have played rep, but like money was tight at this time, so I could have played rep. I'm glad I didn't play rep because wrestling is very passionate, and I really want this to work because I love wrestling more than anything. Besides family, of course, but like wrestling is my life, basically. I love wrestling.
Okay, so did you play soccer pretty much up until you
Yeah,
started training for
yeah,
wrestling?
basically.
And did you find that that helped you from a physical standpoint with like cardio,
Yes,
like having
I
an
like
athletic background?
like the cardio is crazy. 'Cause I used to play midfield, so that's a lot of running. Instead of playing striker, it's just like I was running field back and forth because when we were doing training and we're doing as a midfielder, I was always controlling the field because like Luka Modric is just controlling the field and everything. So that kind of helped me my stamina when I'm in the ring hitting the ropes really quick because that helped me like the speed, the pace, and the cardio and just like how you just feel like you're running, but you can control your pace and not get blown up too quickly.
And during that time, did you get a chance to experience live wrestling or was it
Yes.
always just on television?
I did recently. I was not before 17, but like once I started wrestling and training, I actually went to Raw in Toronto where I saw Roger Husher tagging AJ Styles. First time ever watching Raw. I'm like, wow, that's my boy tagging AJ Styles. That's cool. But I went with my brother and my brother's girlfriend and his son, and it was like a whole different vibe. Instead of watching it on TV live, you watching it live, like, wow, this is very cool. Like I've never experienced something cool in my life.
Did you get independent wrestling before that or was that only
No,
after
I
you had started
honestly,
training?
it was funny to me. Once I started training, I didn't even know there was an independent wrestling. I thought it was just you start training and hoping you go to WWE or like AEW. Like I never knew there was an independent wrestling. Since I started a trainer after a month later, there's I think it was Destiny. That was the first show I ever went to. And just like they had like Josh Alexander versus Speedball. I'm like,
Oh,
what is this?
wow.
I'm like, who is these people? They're so cool. I'm like, independent wrestling. I'm like, I never heard of this. This is so cool.
And how did you feel about the difference between independent wrestling? Because it is a bit more of an intimate feeling. You get a little bit
Yeah,
more close up and you get to talk to people versus Raw. You're probably like you're having a great time, but you are far removed from it.
yeah. I feel like the difference of WWE and independent wrestling is independent wrestling. You can watch it, but when you meet the people that you watch on TV, if they're like released and they're on the independent wrestling, and it's be like, I watched this guy on TV and I'm watching him live right now, and I actually talked to this guy. This is not real. I don't know what's real, what's fake. Because it's so cool. Like it's. I actually recently met like Kurt Angle, and I watched that guy wrestle Cena. I'm like, what? This is so cool. Like it's cool. Like I have no words. It's just the pit of wrestling is so good, and like just I'm every time I'm in the ring, I'm grateful to wrestle because it's you have this rush. It's just like wow, you're a wrestler in the ring like John Cena. Like it's cool.
Is Kurt Angle like the biggest like oh my god moment that you had? I can't believe that I'm actually talking to this guy because I'm sure there's been a lot of crazy opportunities in a locker room or even just
Yeah.
getting to be like I got to ask this guy questions. Like what were some of the biggest really surreal moments that I can't believe that I'm talking to this person now that I'm doing this?
I met Kurt Angle. I met Shelton Benjamin. Like that was pretty cool. I met who else? I think I met Matt Cardona. Zack Ryder. That was cool. He gave me some tips. I met Matt Riddle as well. He was a very interesting guy. I was like, as cool because RK Bro. I always loved it. And when I met him, he's like a really chill guy, but he's just like very interesting. I was like, okay. And who else did I beat in the independent? I also met Speedball. The Speedball was pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's basically it.
So let's jump back into training. So you're
Yeah,
walking into battle arts for the first time. You've been always thinking about being an independent wrestler. How are you feeling? I'm sure there's a level of intimidation, some nervousness. What are some of the things that, you know, maybe even surprised you? Like, I didn't know it was going to be this when you got
yeah.
into it.
Um, the first step I took the ballards and looked around like I did not know. I thought it was just gonna be a ring and just gonna be just people around, but like they had everything. They had like equipment. They had uh, other courses too. They had jiu-jitsu and amateur wrestling. I'm like, wow. And once I saw the ring, and I'm like, I'm watching how people do. I'm like, this is very entertaining. I'm doing like rolls, bumps, hitting the ropes. I'm like, I don't think I can do that. That's so. And once I took my first bump, I'm like, oh, that's hurts. I thought it was gonna be easy. I got blown up. The air came out of my mouth. I'm like, whoa, that's not a good feeling. But every time I kept doing it, I'm like, it kind of got a little better, but it's like stings. I'm like, I felt butterflies in my stomach. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. But there was like a little click in my head. I'm like, Boris, you can do this. I know you can do it. You want to be a wrestler since you were 5 years old, so you gotta lock in and be a wrestler. So since then, I was just like, want to be a wrestler, so I locked in.
I mean, self motivation is great, but did you have a support system outside of that? Were there peers in the class like Jackson Roy and D. Smith, or even family members that helped you when you were kind of getting a little down on yourself or being a little overwhelmed with the challenges that it all posed?
Yeah, I have my brother told me to he basically told me to wrestle. He was like, I know you can do it. I'm too old to do it, but like, I feel like you can do it because you're young. You love this, obviously. So try it out. So I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. So was my mom, tried it out. So I was like, I had some peers, I had some family background, even friends that told me like, you should do wrestling. I think it would be really cool. So I was like, I had some people to support me.
All right, so take me through the path through training and getting into actually starting to do matches. Do you remember getting like the call or the notification that, hey, you're going to be doing a match?
It's cool. We had a student. The way I started late, like early September, and there was a show, our first show in December. So I literally the call when I got it when I first started training was like 1 month in. I think it was like October. I was told that I was going to be a tag match with my first partner, Mikola Kozak. He's not wrestling right now, but like he was training with us. It was going to be me and my tag partner versus KPK. It was Haroon at the time where I'm wearing his shirt and Ahmed. So we played the match for like 2 months. So I was very scared because I had butterflies. When I did my entrance, I was so nervous. Like I was like, oh my, it was like at least 300 people that night. I was like, oh okay, so there's gonna be 300 people watching me, and I'm like in my head, am I gonna mess this up? Am I gonna freeze? Like it was so. I watched back my old videos from training. It was like our first tag match and practice match. I was very nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was messing up during the match practice. So it was like it was very hard at first. But I had some people tell me like, there's no worries, you got this. There's no sweat. It's gonna be 300 people, but it's gonna be good. Don't worry. Calm and like you got this. I was like, all right, so I got this. So when we went through the match, after we did the match, I was like, wow, I just did my first match ever. It was a rush. It was not like it was a one off. I was like, all right, I finished this. I'm cool with it. No, I since I wanted to do that first match, I was like, I want to do so many matches, like 100 matches. I want to wrestle. If there was any promotion at the time, I wanted to wrestle more promotion. I wanted to wrestle every day, every time, every hour. Like it was so cool. So yeah, I just love wrestling.
The nervousness of the first match turned into excitement for the next one.
Yeah,
As soon as you
basically,
got a
yeah,
taste of it, you're like, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I
yeah,
was waiting for.
yes,
So you were a big fan of John Cena, and the first match I can't believe was a blindfold match.
yeah, yeah.
But it
It's so
obviously
funny.
speaks to the theatrics of the industry, right?
Yeah,
Because there are some people that are maybe a little bit more technical than John Cena, but
yeah.
presentation is a big part of it. Talk to me about the Boris CroBos character a little bit more. Like, when did the tights come in? When did the spandex come in? Or not spandex, sorry, the suspenders.
Yeah,
Because I believe when you did your first match, you were kind of going with a different
yeah.
style.
So basically, at first I was with a tag partner. So I was actually my first name was Boris Kozak. So we were doing this tag team where my buddy was Ukrainian, so he got me these pants. It was like it's like Aladdin pants, but were blue, so it looked pretty cool. So we were doing the tag match, and then eventually he was like on and off. So I was like, and I asked Nick at the time, I was like, can I do a singles? So he was like, cool, yeah. So I wrestled Vin Jacobs, uh, Bowards at the time. So I was like, all right, I need to find a new character and stuff. That's why the nerd came in, the suspenders, and just like how I did the suspenders is just be like a nerd should wear suspenders because I feel like a nerd, even though he's not wearing the suspenders, he should wear the suspenders, and that's why I put the glasses on. I don't think I should wrestle with the glasses because it's very hard to keep going on. So I take the glasses off, and it's just like I keep. And it's kind of funny because like every time I buy suspenders, at least 5 matches it breaks off, so it's kind of disappointing, but like the suspenders is like how the Boris CroBos character is. He's like a nerd, but he's very shy, but he's eager and he's ready to fight anyone, even though you fight someone 7 foot tall, someone his Zach height, or just like someone jacked. Like he's not scared to fight, but like he's very nervous all the time because he's just a Boris CroBos.
And then, of course, with the tights, you have the flag on there, and I believe your shirt it's like a Croatian driver's license, I believe, with your face
Yes.
on it. Which obviously nationality is clearly important to you, but it's not really part of the gimmick. It's more the nerd part of it.
Yeah.
Can you speak to me a little bit about the importance of having that stuff, even if it isn't something that's put in the forefront of your character?
So it's kind of funny because my I don't know who told me exactly, but someone told me that like Superbad is like McLovin basically. So how I got the merch is basically he told me to like use because McLovin had a shirt. Basically, he had his shirt like the license plate. So I was like, okay, I think for my first merch it would be myself on the face, and it has the Croatian license and McLovin all that. It's just, I feel like it would fit my character because I could wear any shirt, but a nerd could be. But I feel like a nerd could wear who's probably his favorite movie is Superbad because McLovin is literally the greatest nerd in all time. There's obviously Steve Urkel and stuff, but like McLovin is just on point. So I was like, all right. So I watched that movie so many times because it's so funny. It's just like how I watched this movie. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this on a shirt. So I asked Haroon, can you make this as a shirt? So he put it on a shirt, on a black shirt, and had the license, and it said sex yes, age bro Boris Grobos. I had a fake address on it. Everything is a joke, but it's so funny because it's like I just put my face on McLovin and just place it on a shirt, so it's kind of funny.
All right, that's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about some of the highlights of your career thus far. What are some of the matches that really stand out? I know you've had an opportunity to do tag team work. Like, what are some of the things that if you were to think back on your career come to mind first of like, oh man, this was an awesome moment. Not necessarily a great match, just, hey, this meant a lot to me. Hey, this was a milestone. Talk to me a little bit about your career highlights.
So obviously top five would obviously be my first match ever in front of 300 people, so I had to be top five. I think a year or like 2 years in, I got to wrestle Gabriel Ferreira on a Stewart show. Probably still my favorite match of all time. Because he's so good. I'm surprised he's not signed by now. He's so good, and he's such a good guy. Like I hope they'll wrestle him again soon. But he's so good. And then I say also when I first wrestled for Barry Wrestling, that was a huge moment because I helped out with Barry Wrestling back in the 22 days, 22 I think September ish, yeah, and I've been helping out for like 8 shows, and they did Canada shows. I don't know who helped me. I don't know, but like Sean Gibson hit me up, said I was gonna help out with ring crew, but he said bring my gear. I'm gonna wrestle Clay Wilson. I'm like, okay, cool. I wrestled Clay Wilson for the first time. That match was fine, but I say the next match after that, I would say that's my best character match against Cody Wilson because how Clay is such good heel. He's so underrated as a heel. and people should know that. Like, he's so good. And when we wrestled, it's just the match was so, like, it flowed good. Like, he's to this day, he's the best person that did the tornado DT, because how he hosts for it, it was so clean and stuff. It's so smooth. I'm like, damn, I love Clay Wilson. He's the GOAT. But yeah, he's the GOAT. But I mean, and then after that, I would say my first independent wrestling show, probably say GCW. Steve Brown gave me a chance with me and Maddie did a tag match, so that was pretty cool. And I'm just glad that, like, I get to wrestle at different promotions, so that's basically the highlight of my career as well.
Okay. And what about championships? Because you were a tag champion, I believe, at Crossbody, if I'm not mistaken.
I was it was Crossbody Pro Wrestling. They are shut down now, but it was me and Mark Shaw. So how the story was, Mark Shaw was a bully to me, and he was basically using me as like a sidekick. But how the story is, he softened up and used me as a actual partner. And I think we were heel at one point, and then we turned back his face, and we were heel again. It was very up and down, but like me tagging with Mark Shaw was really fun because Crossbody Pro Wrestling was like a place to get reps and try some new stuff out. So shout out to Crossbody Pro Wrestling, and just and the moment when I won the tag belts, I knew I was gonna win it, but like the moment I touched the tag belt, I'm like, wow, this doesn't feel real. So it's like it was very cool to hold a belt in wrestling, even though it's fake, but it's still cool to hold a belt and be a champion. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to imagine that that's probably a big moment for somebody is to hold a belt, to realize that, this is almost validation that a company believes in you, that you've, like, it's almost like saying, hey, you've worked so hard and you deserve this, and now we believe in you. And, like you said, it's a place to get your reps and you can do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing, exactly.
I got to see some of those matches, and they were
Yeah.
always a great time. So what's next for your career? Where do you want to see yourself go? Who do you want to see yourself wrestle? What companies would you like to work for? Like, what's on the bucket list for you now?
The bucket list is basically I would like to wrestle every kind of promotions. Like, my goal this year is either wrestle for C4. I love C4. Like, C4 is like, it's very hard to get on, but like I've been into C4 a couple of times. It's such a cool vibe. So if I ever get to wrestle C4, that'd be pretty cool. I would like to wrestle in the States one time. I know it's hard to cross the border because we're Canadians and stuff, but I would like to wrestle for a state promotion, basically. So it would be pretty cool. I would like to wrestle for Smash as well. I heard it's very hard, but it's like very cool because I know a lot of wrestlers wrestle for Smash still, like Brent Banks and stuff. I would love to wrestle Brent Banks as well. Brent Banks is so good. I would like to wrestle Von Vertigo, Judah Benito, very good wrestler as well. My number one list on my list, I made a list of how many wrestlers I want to wrestle for 2025. Is basically number one is Judas Icarus. It's just like I watched Judas Icarus the first time, and I got to talk to him. And since then, we like every time I see him, I give him a hug because he's such a cool guy. And like me wrestling Judas Icarus, it would be so cool because like it would be like a cool moment because like damn, I'm wrestling one of the best and wrestlers in Canada, or like not Canada, like BC and stuff, and he's signed too. So I'm like, damn, it's pretty cool. I just like it would just be pretty cool. So like, yeah.
Let's say hypothetically you got the opportunity to wrestle Sinner and Saints. Who would your tag team partner be against them?
That'd be a good question. If I had a tag team partner, I would probably pick. I had so many tag partners at the time, but like if I had to pick, I would probably pick Jurgen. I think it would be me and Jurgen versus Say. That'd be pretty cool. Even though I know he has a tag partner, we tagged like twice at Hemlock. I feel like we had that connection. So it would probably be me and Jurgen versus Say. I think it would be a cool match because Jurgen's like more of the suplex kind of guy, and I'm just the guy who, as a heel, I'll just be the guy who just talk his stuff and just not, and then just get his ass kicked after that. So that'll be basically that.
All right, so don't worry about grounding yourself on reality. Who's the dream match? It doesn't matter if it's realistic or not, how it would happen, but if I could wave a magic wand and say, tomorrow you are wrestling, who would it be?
I honestly I had to say John Cena. And it's just how it is. It's John Cena, 100%. It would be the most hokey match, but I feel like it would be so cool because I know he's retiring this year, so it would be kind of sucks. But like, if I ever got to wrestle him, even if it's just a one-off, it would just be so cool because I'm wrestling my idol. I watched this guy when I was 5 years old, and I was watching on TV. And it would just be a whole circle moment. I was like, damn, I'm wrestling my idol. So that'd be cool.
That would be awesome, yeah. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about fan interaction, because with your persona, your character, there's possibilities to be like the plucky underdog, and then there's also to be kind of like the delusional heel. Have you had any fun exchanges with fans, gotten them going? I know I saw you at 365 where you were just egging people on and you wouldn't get into the ring, but like, do you have any fun stories with fan interactions?
Actually, yeah. It actually happened yesterday. So it was me and Jurgen versus the A team. So there's a team called A team, and they're from Canada, and they had like coffee mugs. So it's kind of funny. So when we did our entrance and stuff, and they came out, and before the match started, they had these coffee mugs, and they're like, and me and Jurgen like they should have had alcohol in it, and like ref check their mugs. So the ref checks their mugs and he spits it out and says, I told you it was alcohol. And they're like, no, it's just dark roast. I don't like dark roast. I'm like, brother. And then just the fans were like, when I was still in the ranks, and one little kid actually called me a little boy. I was like, I turned so quick. I was like, what? I'm a man, not a little boy. And they just kept saying, little boy, I'm a little boy. I'm like, damn. And this is cool because like I know Dominic Mysterio they boo and stuff, so it was kind of cool. But like me calling a little boy and just getting booed and stuff is kind of a good feeling. So I'm doing something right. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome. So I like to ask everybody this question before we close off. If you had an opportunity to go talk to a younger version of yourself that was just starting out in training, what's the most important piece of advice that you would give yourself to make that a little bit easier, that could maybe help somebody else right now who's considering getting into the industry?
I would probably say if I had to talk to my 20 years old self, that's like what, 4 years ago. I would probably say to myself, I would be like, Boris, I know you're scared. I know you're nervous. I know like you want to do this, but you don't know. You're like 50-50 on it because you feel like you're going to fail and it'll be like you can't do this. Remember, go back to when you're 5 years old, why you want to do wrestling, why you want to be a wrestler, and just sink that in. Because if you want it so bad, you can achieve it. If you want to be a wrestler and you want to do the work, do the hard work and everything, if you can achieve something, you will achieve it. If you want to do something, you will achieve it. So I would probably say that for my younger self.
Awesome. So before we sign out, can you just let people know once again who you are and maybe where they can follow you on social media if they want to keep up to date with you?
Yeah, if you want to, I'm Boris CroBos. So Boris __ CroBos on Instagram. I think that's the same thing for my Twitter, Boris _ CroBos. For Twitter as well, and TikTok. I think it's just Boris CroBos. But yeah, basically it. I'm just Boris CroBos, and the nerd is up. Type shit.
All right, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for tuning in to Independent Wrestling Profiles. Please help out the show if you can with a like, subscription, or review. We'll see you next time.
This program is a proud part of the Swear to Pod Network.